my name is Ian O'Neill. I'm the Eastern U.S. Sales Manager here with Roland DGShape. And I'm excited to be here because it's been a number of years since we've had a new piece of equipment hit the market. So back in 2018, we had the release to the 52D and the DCI. That was a very exciting time for us and for our customers, as well as our partners and our dealers. Since then, you all have been using that equipment with great success in a lab space, and we're excited to bring to you today the DWX-53DC. So it's the latest and greatest from the DGShape team over in Japan, and it is built to be bigger and better than ever before. And we're going to go through in detail some of the reasons why this machine is in fact our best yet. So let's get started here. All right, Fran, if you'd like to go ahead and put up that first poll question, we can go ahead with that. And if you would all be so kind as to put in your input, it'll help us through the next slides coming up. So we appreciate that. And here we see the entire fleet of equipment that is in our current portfolio. As you are all very familiar with already, the 52D and the DCI are the workhorses of the laboratories here in the US. We have the 42W over here on the upper left area. That is going to be our wet 4-axis machine, which would cover any materials on that universal type block itself. And last but not least, of course, what we're here to talk about today, the DWX-53DC. Okay, let's get into some of the features of the 53 itself. This machine has a completely redesigned spindle. So the powerhouse of this machine, what drives everything, what drives the tool, and ultimately the finished product out of the machine is a redesigned spindle. This spindle is going to have 3 times the gripping force to the tool than our previous models. So the grip of the tool is extremely important when we talk about milling materials that are popular today. Acrylics, PMMA for full arch provisional cases, as well as thermoplastics are becoming quite popular in our milling devices. So 3 times the grip force to the tool prevents the possibilities of any slippage occurring when you are milling these types of materials. So that's really one of the main features of this device itself, is the additional grip to the tool. In addition to the redesigned spindle, we now also offer a 4mm dual fluted tool, which is exclusively used in the 53DC. This 4mm tool would not be utilized in any of our previous models for the sheer fact that grip to the tool is extremely important. As you get larger in tool sizing, you're going to generate more torque on the tool, which demands higher grip to the tool itself from the collet. So the 4mm tool would be used on plastics, acrylics, or thermoplastics. And this would give you some small time savings compared to just using your 2mm carbide tool for those types of jobs. It will also extend the life of your other milling burrs used on that case. Okay, 4mm is going to be used for the roughing procedure. So it's really going to look like a buzzsaw going through that material as the milling job starts. So it's exciting to watch. If you attend a show this year, we will be running the 53DC live at all of the booths. So we'd be happy to have you stop by and take a look at this process in person. The 53DC is going to be a cleaner mill overall. That's through a couple of ways. One is the added cleaning feature to the end of the milling job. Through V-panel, you're going to have the option of using a high detail, standard, or fast cleaning procedure. This procedure at the very end of the job is going to pass over the milled puck on the top and bottom side in a grid pattern to make sure we blow off any mill debris whatsoever to prevent it from getting in other parts of the mill, like the changer in the 53. In addition, we've also added an air blow feature to the very front of the mill in that milling chamber that at the end of the job is going to give a short, quick burst of air at a high volume and blow that debris to the back of the machine where it would be evacuated by the suction unit. Okay, so cleaner mills, I say it all the time. If you see my presentation, a clean mill is a running mill. So this machine also has a built-in web camera. The web camera is currently accessible through our DGShape cloud. You'd be able to make an account through your vPanel, be at home while you're running jobs overnight, access the camera, and see exactly what's going on in the machine. It's a nice feature if you have a nesting room separate from your milling room, where up on your screen, you could actually have the live feed going on your screen while you nest. So you'd be able to monitor the status of jobs inside the machine. So neat feature there. Rapid movements have been increased in speed. Rapid movements are the movements the machine makes while it's not cutting. So that would be moving from the tool changer to the milling chamber itself, depositing those tools and picking those tools up. So those processes in the past have been a little slower than people have pointed out they would like. So those rapid movements, retrieving tools and depositing tools, has been increased in speed. So they're 50% faster than they have been previously. Not just the tool depositing has been sped up, but also the disc changes have been increased as well. So in the 52 DCI, a disc change would take, that's a single change. So picking up the puck and putting it into the milling chamber would take just over 2 minutes. We now have that down to 1 minute and 7 seconds. So if you do the math on that, you're saving almost 3 minutes per milling job that you run per day. So if you're saving 3 minutes per job, that's 1 puck pickup and 1 puck return. If you're running 20 jobs per day, that's almost an hour of save time. An hour of save time in this machine compared to previous models increases your bandwidth overall, allows you to grow your business. So it's these little things, faster tool swaps, faster puck exchanges, these small numbers, these 2 minutes, 3 minutes that we're able to save over a day and a week and a month through the entire year. These small numbers become massive numbers. Okay. They give you the ability to generate more revenue. So these are the things that we're focusing on as we develop new equipment. There's a new feature that we're going to see. I'll point out in a later slide where you would be able to place a Microsoft Pro. So you would be able to take a Microsoft Pro. We have a stand built into the device itself, and you would be able to run the wires through the machine. There is a special port that they would run through, and you could connect the tablet to run your device through the vPanel to tell, to give the ability to start, stop the machine, and control everything from one tablet on the front of the device. The Microsoft Pro is not included with the purchase. We do not sell them. It would be something that an end user or customer would then purchase on their own and utilize. Barcode reader. So the capabilities of the barcode reader, not only have they been the changer itself, the time of an exchange has been decreased, but we've expanded the capabilities of how many pucks this machine would actually be able to track. In the previous mill, the DCI, we were able to track up to 26 different pucks in your nesting software. We've moved away from the alphabetical system and we've moved to the numerical system. And now your CAM software would be able to track up to 100 of these material adapters.
Okay, so we do have the results in, if you'd like to know them, of our first poll question.
Sure.
And the results are 60% of our attendees are using a DGShape Roland mill, and 40% are currently not.
Okay, perfect. So there's some people probably looking at some new milling solutions out there, and we'd be, not only us, but the Zahn team would be happy to talk to you about our capabilities. But this is a great opportunity to learn more about our solutions as well. Okay, a little more detail about the machine itself. We now see the image on the right where the covers are open. So let's do a quick virtual tour, so to speak, of the machine. Here on the top left, we have our puck changer. You can see in the DCI, the changer was off to the left. So it is a longer machine. We've saved some counter space by changing the way the machine is designed and moving that changer to the top. By moving it to the top, we've actually made it a lift motor instead of a T-axis. In the DCI, the pucks were moving up, down, left, and right, making a T pattern. So we refer to it as the T-axis. We now have a lift motor, much like an elevator. So the only movement that this changer is making is moving down into the milling chamber, where the AB axis, the clamp system, moves into position and picks up the puck and moves it into milling position. At which point the lift motor would move back up into the chamber. So this top left corner is where you will store your pucks, load up your jobs that you're going to run overnight or through the day. Okay. And in the top right here, kind of a funny angle here, we'll see a better look in the next image. We have access to the spindle area, which you would remove this panel. There's a couple of set screws there. The panel would be removed and you'd have full access to your spindle area, just like our previous models. And that brings us to our first bullet point on this slide, which is still a user replaceable spindle. You would not require a service technician to come out. You know, with the assistant and a video from our team, you would be able to make this spindle swap on your own and have your machine up and running in no time when it came time for a spindle swap. So here we have the spindle housing in this compartment. We also have a compartment here where we are housing the milling burrs. The milling burrs are no longer stored within the milling chamber itself. Over time, you could get zirconia dust or debris built up on the tool shanks of those tools, which then dirty the collet itself and create a buildup. So by moving the tool changers here, we're keeping everything cleaner. And as I mentioned before, clean mill, clean parts means a running machine. So we now have that handy cabinet here that stores our milling burrs. Bottom left, we have the changer itself. The milling chamber itself. AB axis is housed here. 5-axis machine as always with the 50, 51, and 52 series. This is where all the milling would take place. So here in the front, we have an air nozzle that would blow all debris to the back of the machine to be evacuated. And here in the front, this little section here would pop out, and that would be your stand for a Surface Pro should you want to use the surface to control the machine itself. And as always, we have the storage drawer here down here in the bottom. 5-axis mill, it's still a 15 tool station changer. So we're going to be able to fit a bank of diamond tools for zirconia, carbide tools, and specialty tools. There's a variety of specialty tools out there that you could utilize depending on the type of restoration you're milling. Flat end tools for rapid reduction, flat end tools for milling of implant sites, precision milling of implant sites. So we have a wide variety of tooling there. This machine still utilizes an automatic calibration process. You would not need to mill out an object, measure it with a micrometer, enter it into a spreadsheet to run your basic calibration. You pop the jig into a holder in which you choose an empty slot in the changer and start your calibration process. As always with our equipment, there is no annual or monthly fee associated with the software to run the mill itself. So there's no fees for our equipment, no monthly fees. And as always with our most current mills, it's a ball screw drive driven system. This entire machine is built heavier duty. It has a more rigid frame. It has a heavy cast base itself to give it more rigidity, which gives us the ability to push the machine harder for faster production times. Still automatic air pressure control, just like our previous mill. The machine will read the file being sent to it and know whether to blow more or less air, depending on the type of material being milled. Okay. Built-in ionizer, that's important for acrylic, thermoplastic, and PMMA. The suction units that are attached to milling machines generate a static which travels up the suction hose into the chamber. And when you mill these types of materials, that static makes things a little more cumbersome to clean. Using an ionizer in the device itself reduces that static, making it easier to brush that mill debris to the back of the machine to be evacuated out. And as always, we are offering a 2-year trouble-free warranty on the 53, just like our previous devices. A 1-year warranty is applied when your device ships, and then the 2nd year is not activated until you register your machine on our website. So it's important with any new machine that within the first 30 days of you having that piece of equipment in-house, you go to our website, fill out that quick little form with all your contact information and your serial number. That will then activate the 2nd year of warranty. Okay, so make sure your machines are registered. It's not just for that 2nd year. But when the time comes, you do need service or some sort of repair, it makes the support process much more efficient because we have your machine in our system. We have your contact number, your address, your email address, everything that we need to do through service is streamlined by having your machine registered. Okay. Sorry, quick second to change there. So here's a look at some specialty tools that would be utilized inside of the 53 itself. First, we have the 3mm, which is not pictured here. The 3mm tool has been around for a while. It's been utilized in the 52 series mill, but now we can push this tool significantly harder than we have in the past due to that stronger grip in the collet itself. So it's going to give you around 35% faster milling times than previous devices on PMMA, acrylic, and thermoplastics. The 4mm will give you a time savings compared to previous milling devices, but it is not as fast as the 3mm flat. It might not make sense and say, how can a smaller tool be more efficient in milling times than a larger tool? And here's why. The 4mm tool is a dual fluted tool. So there's two cutting edges on that tool. It can only take per cutting flute so large of a bite of material. So with two flutes, we're automatically cutting that diameter in half. So from 4mm, we're going to 2mm. And now we're only able to take a bite of roughly 70 to 80% of that material. So we're really only taking a 1.5mm bite overall. When we use a 3mm tool with a single flute, one single cutting tooth, each pass, that rotation, because that flute is so much deeper, we can actually take a larger bite. So we're taking almost twice as big of a bite with a 3mm tool, single flute, than we could with a 4mm dual flute. It has everything to do with the actual tool technology itself, not the mill. So we're able to mill quicker with the 3mm today. Hopefully that makes sense. If you have more questions on that, I'd be happy to answer them at the end. Every 53 DC that ships is going to come with a suction unit that is bundled into the price. So that is included with the machine, and bundled with it is going to be the Renfert Silent Power Cam EC. It's going to come with a data cable, which connects from the suction unit to the mill. So the suction unit knows when to turn on and off. This machine has a vibration motor. So through your milling, your overnight milling, it's going to vibrate and reduce the debris in that machine to continue the suction force. So you're not gradually getting less and less suction the more full the suction unit becomes. Okay. So nice feature there, less line items for you to have to worry about. And here's a quick look at the new updated V panel. If you haven't seen this new V panel, we highly recommend you upgrade to it. It has some new features in there that you could find quite useful. The layout is slightly a bit different, but after you use it for a day or two, you're going to come to like this V panel much better than the previous versions. Here's a look at the web camera, which is accessible through the V panel itself. That's going to allow you to view a job. It's pretty cool when you use those larger tools and you can see it going to work and how quickly these jobs are roughed out. So here's a look at the new V panel and what that web camera would look like inside the device. Here's a look at the DGShape Cloud. The DGShape Cloud is a free software currently downloadable from our website. And it would give you not only access to your webcam from anywhere you have internet connection or on any device, but it also allows you to generate reports. So you're going to be able to customize and create reports so you can better understand what types of puck you're using the most of, their shades, thickness, also what types of restorations you're milling the most of, and your overall production bandwidth. So if you have a fleet of mills, you have 2, 3, 4 of our devices, you would be able to track which machine is doing the most amount of work and figure out how you can make better use of your other equipment. So you can customize your reports to generate any information you choose, and you'd be able to export those reports at the click of a button. Here's a look at that Microsoft Pro. We do recommend that if you go with a Microsoft Pro, if you want to have that feature to control the mill from the front of the machine itself, you have to go with the Pro version. You do not want to get a home version of software. It would not run very well with the software, the V panel itself. So we highly recommend going with the Microsoft Surface Pro. And something people ask a lot is the V panel and the mill software now compatible with Windows 11? And that would be yes. So we are no longer having any issues with that. That has been resolved, and you are free to do your updates to Microsoft. Okay. What's included with the machine itself? Obviously, you're going to get a spindle with the mill. You're not going to have to replace it on your own. It will come installed as well as the belt, but this is a look at what that new spindle looks like. It will be different, and this spindle would not be compatible with any of the previous models of devices. So this is exclusive to the 53 itself. Every machine, just like previous models, would come with a set of 6 material adapters. These adapters are not interchangeable with the 52 series mill. So if you have a 52 and a 53, they are different adapters. The way that they're designed is different, so they would not be interchangeable. Okay. The material adapters for the 53 are much thicker, much heavier duty, so they do not fit into the changer for the 52. Just like before, you're going to get a material adapter rack, and every machine is going to include an open edge adapter. The open edge adapter is meant to give access to full arch cases in the anterior region. So as you can see in this image, the front side is beveled away, and on the bottom, it's also beveled away. The 53 has an extra 5 degrees of milling capability in the B axes. The previous models, which we offer, are 30 degrees. So with this open edge adapter in the extra 5 degrees, we are able to access the detail that you're looking for in that anterior region and make sure that we're not missing any detail in undercut areas. So this is a great option. These are also for sale individually if you did identify the need for additional open edge adapters. A 4mm tool is also going to be included with the sale of the mill. So you will get that 4mm tool. Also included with the mill itself is going to be one set of our new ZPB tools. We will get into the ZPB tools here in a couple of slides, and I'll give you some more detail. The machine itself. So as I mentioned before, we've made the machine much more narrow, so it's not taking up as much counter space, but it is slightly taller than the previous changer model, the DCI. So you want to make sure that you don't have a low-hanging cabinet under the area you plan to install it, but it makes for a nice working height where all 4 of your cabinets are really chest level for you to be able to add pucks, remove pucks, do maintenance, add tools. It's very user-friendly. Here's the specification sheets for the machine itself. As far as materials go, really not much has changed as far as what materials can go into the machine. It's still PMMA, zirconia, wax, composite resins, PEEK, pectin, Trilor, Trinia, and all of the other materials that you'd be milling. So acrylic, thermoplastic, all able to go into the 53. Spindle speed is 30,000 RPMs. As I pointed out before, the B axis now has 35 degrees up from 30. One thing I'll point out, our devices are known for very low air pressure being required. The older devices are 23 PSI. This device is going to be right around 77 PSI for air pressure. The reason for the additional air pressure is going to be the additional air cleaning functions which have been added to this machine. So even though we are higher, we are still significantly less than our competitors who use air pressure in their machines, which are over 101 PSI. Okay. The machine has gotten heavier. As I mentioned, it's built heavier duty, stronger, tougher, so we can push it harder. And we've added close to 40 pounds to the device from the DCI itself. So I would recommend, if you're getting one of these, have a third person available to help lift this. It is doable with two, but I highly recommend, just for the height and size of the machine itself, having that third person there to help you get it up on the countertop. Mentioned already, disc changes are significantly faster, as well as the tool changes back and forth to the tool stalker. And here we go over really all the bullet points we've already covered and the accessories that are included. Here it will note that the ZPB tools are included. So you're going to get a 2 millimeter ZPB tool, a 1 millimeter, and a 0.6 millimeter. The discs are still 98.5 millimeters. The minimum thickness of puck accepted by this machine, just like our others, would be 10 millimeters of height. And the maximum thickness puck would be 60 millimeters. I have not seen a 60 millimeter puck. Maybe someday we'll have them for a specialty case in some way, shape, or form. But because we're no longer transferring the pucks through what we refer to as the mail slot in the wall of the DCI, and we're utilizing the lift motor, we're actually able to accept a thicker puck overall. As I mentioned already, here's some of the details with the 2-year warranty. Once you register, the second year is activated. Our 2-year warranty includes 1 spindle replacement should your spindle fail in your first 2 years. We will replace your spindle in your machine if your spindle fails, okay? It's not just a ship a new spindle out upon customer request. If there's failure, it will be covered. The warranty will also cover things like technician travel, labor time, and parts. The things that it will not cover are things like consumable items. We will not cover pucks. We will not cover milling burrs, or because the collet is considered a consumable item, it would not cover a collet, okay? It's a little more detail about our warranty program. And now the exciting part about what we're going to be talking about today. Last week at Chicago 2023, LMT 2023 rather, we released a new strategy with our partners Millbox, which we have been testing since the release of the 53. And through this process with the 3 millimeter tool, which I referenced before, we have increased the feed and speed rates for milling of PMMA, acrylic, and thermoplastic like Duracetyl, Visiclear, acetyl. So all of those materials would qualify for this. What you would need to access this milling strategy and get yourself a significant time savings, anywhere from 30 to 40% on your current milling times without the strategy, you would need to have a 53DC. This strategy is not utilized in our older devices, the 52 or 51. You would need to have a 3 millimeter single fluted tool available to you. That item number is RSB 150D-US. That is the milling burr that you would need. You would also need 1 set of ZPB tools. We're going to talk about the ZPB tools in the very next slide. 1 set is going to come with the 53 when you purchase it. And you would need to make sure that in Millbox, you are choosing ZPB 3 millimeter -US tool set. And really quickly, what I'd like to do is show you how you would make that adjustment. So really quick, I'm just going to slide this screen over and show you how you would make that change. You want to make sure that you are on Millbox version 8.2.1. Anything prior to this will not have the strategy. So if you need to mill a job with your 53 and you want to access that time savings, you would click this refresh button here once you've chosen your machine. Sorry for the lag. So you'll see here we have 1 material option. So it's going to be a PMMA type strategy. The acrylic and the thermoplastic are going to fall into that category. And then you would see right below it, you would have the option for a standard adapter or use of the open edge adapter here at the bottom. So some of you may be familiar already with the process of choosing a different tool set, whether you're working with tools directly from Roland, from Zahn, from another manufacturer. So here we go. So once you click that refresh button, it's going to give you lists of tool sets. So the only tool set that is utilizing this, as I call it, boosted strategy, is going to be ZPB-US 3mm. So this is the tool set you would need to choose for these faster milling times. Okay. Here it's going to list each tool slot. So T11 is tool slot 11, tool slot 12, and you're going to make sure all 4 of these tools are in the proper position. So this is how you would go about making that change. Once you highlight that tool set, ZPB-US 3mm, click the check mark, and you proceed with nesting your job. Okay, so as I mentioned, you need to be on 8.2.1. This is a really important, this highlights the reason why you need to keep your CAM softwares up to date. So I know that there's yearly fees. A lot of people don't like, paying those sort of fees, but when something new comes out and you need a new machine type or a new strategy because a new tool has been tested, it's nice to have those cutting edge capabilities, and staying on top of that update process helps you stay cutting edge. It's going to help you bring new solutions to your customers, produce work faster, be able to bring in more work, more accounts, and generate more revenue. So stay on top of those updates, because we fully intend to continue to develop this 53. Its capabilities with the spindle and the collet and the grip are allowing us to explore more options, which we did not have previously. So through the coming months, through the rest of 2023, we are going to aggressively pursue new strategies to save you time across the board. So keep your eyes open for new updates as well. Once you make that change, these are all of the object types which would apply to this strategy. So everything you see here would be a possibility for using this strategy in plastic, acrylic, or thermoplastic. Okay. The ZPB tools, what's special about them? ZPB is our plastic, acrylic, or thermoplastic milling burr. When we mill those types of pucks, typically they're thicker than zirconia pucks. Thick zirconia puck, we're usually around 20, 22 millimeters. But as soon as we go to acrylic or plastics, we're talking about 20, 25, and in some cases, 30 millimeters of thickness. So there is a specialty coating that is applied to this to protect the cutting edges from heat abrasion, which means these tools, you can expect them to last up to 80 hours. We can't guarantee it for 80 because there's so many material types out there, but most of our testing indicates 80 hours of life is to be expected. That's significantly longer than the carbide tools, which are typically being used on these materials, which are looking more at 20 to 30 hours. The tool shank, the part that goes inside the collet itself, is textured. So we have 3 times the grip on the tool itself, but now we have a textured surface, which, should there be a situation where, there is high stress to the tool because of a material, that textured shank is also going to prevent slippage. So extra layer of protection. And as I mentioned, those thick pucks utilized in those material types, we've extended the length of the tool 5 millimeters. So that's going to give you 5 millimeters of additional reach from the top side and the bottom side of that puck, which means you're going to get more detail in less undermilled areas. So ZPB tool set included with the 53 comes with it. Great option for anybody, even with a 52. You would be able to utilize the ZPB tool set for longer life, but it would not utilize the faster strategy. So this is a look at milling times in the 53 utilizing the 4 millimeter tool. These are great times compared to what we were seeing previously in the 52 series mill. So here we see 2 full arch RPDs. This is quite a bit of milling. This is an acetyl material, and this job was completed with the 4 millimeter in just under 2.5 hours. Okay. And then we have an appliance here. What this was a snap-on smile. So all of these teeth, but the front 4 had cavities in them. Not cavities in them, but milled prep areas. So we were milling this entire case out of a thicker puck in 2 hours and 35 minutes, just over 2.5 hours. and then a smaller RPD frame in an hour and 15 minutes in a 20 millimeter. So compared to previous times where we were up in the 3-hour mark, just with the 4 millimeter tool, you're seeing a significant time savings. But what we're really excited about is the result with the 3 millimeter strategy that we're implementing now. We've loaded a machine with denture pucks, a PMMA puck with a denture base inside of it. Each one of these 6 pucks was 20 millimeters. Again, we loaded it with 6, and we completed all 6 pucks in 6 hours and 49 minutes. So each denture base in a 20 millimeter, we are just over 1 hour of milling time for a denture base that could fit in a 20 millimeter puck. Those times will obviously go up slightly if you're at a 25 or a 30 millimeter, but still significant time savings from utilizing a 2 millimeter ball end tool. Here we have 2 RPDs again, 2 flexible frames at a VisiClear. With the new 3 millimeter strategy, we are doing those 2 RPDs in an hour and 25 minutes compared to 2 hours and 25 minutes previously with the 4 millimeter. Significant savings. And here we have a small RPD, and this one is also in a 20 millimeter out of a Duracetal, and this one was marked at 44 minutes. Okay. We've also done some other testing with things like mill denture teeth, and we are milling denture teeth out of a appropriately sized puck. For example, largest teeth are 14 millimeters. We use a 15 millimeter PMMA puck, and we are milling the teeth, full arch of teeth out for a denture base in about 35 minutes. So significant time savings there, which gives you a fully digital denture base and teeth in just over an hour and a half, which is a fantastic time. Less processing, no post-processing, cut it out, ready to assemble. So now that we've talked about all of the benefits of the 53, we do have some promotions. These promotions are available in Q1 of 2023. So that's January, February, March. You got about 28 days left to take advantage of these. And our current promotion is discounted pricing on both the DCI and the 52D. And we are going to include a free suction unit, a free BOFA suction unit on these 2 devices. If you want more information on this, reach out to your Zahn rep and they'd be happy to give you more detail. And then we're also offering, we talked about warranties. We are offering an extended warranty promotion as well. So based on the mill type you have, we are offering a program where you buy 2 years of extended warranty and we will give you 1 for free. Here is that pricing breakdown. And again, if you need more detail on this, it would be wise to reach out to your Zahn rep and they will give you more information. And that is what we have for today on the 53. Again, I showed you guys exactly how to make that selection of the ZPB 3 millimeter tool here. So keep that in mind if you do bring a 53 into your production. But all of our entire portfolio of mills, which we saw earlier, the 52D, the DCI, and the 42W are all still available in production. There's no plan to eliminate those from production or remove them from our portfolio. Every single one of them has a purpose. Every single one of them has a different ROI, and there is a place in the market and in the laboratory for every single one of these machines. So we're excited about the year. We're excited to develop more strategies for this machine, utilizing different tooling, which we haven't used before. So it's going to be a very interesting year for us, and keep your eyes open for more webinars from us and the Zahn team, and we will bring you more updates on the latest and greatest strategies here to come.
Ian, thank you so much. I'm going to open this up to Q&A now for Ian. Ian, we already have 3 questions. So the first one being, where can I buy the new ZPB tools?
ZPB tools are going to be included with the 53, but when you need replacements, any of our dealers, our partners, would be able to sell those tools to you. So you would want to contact your Zahn rep. Again, it's not just the 53 that the ZPB can go in, that 2 millimeter, 1 millimeter, and 0.6. Those tools can also be utilized in the 52 series. So make good use of those if you're milling those PMMA or acrylic materials.
The next question is, will the 53 connect to the same V panel as my other DGShape mills?
That's a good question. So the V panel, yes, as long as you have less than 4 mills currently connected to your V panel, you would be able to purchase a 53, plug it into your computer, and be able to run that device from the very same V panel, which means less computers. So yes, that would be a possibility. We always suggest, once you get to the point you're over the 2 to 3 mil threshold, it may be wise to add another computer. It's going to be much more productive to have 2 CAM softwares nesting and calculating simultaneously. You're going to find yourself waiting for jobs to calculate quite a bit less, and you'll be much more productive by running 2 machines off 1 computer, CAM and V panel, and 2 other machines off of 1 computer, CAM and V panel.
Excellent. The questions keep coming. The next is it safe to update to the next V panel on Windows 11?
Yes. So we mentioned that earlier, but it's something in the past that we've had asked people to hold off on, that update to Windows 11, but now we are very comfortable with updating to Windows 11 with the newest version of vPanel. And again, that new version of vPanel I talked about is available for download through our site. Doesn't matter if you have a 51, 52, or purchasing a 53, you would be able to upgrade to that new vPanel.